Welcome to our session today. Hi, everyone. We will wait for a couple of minutes for everyone to join in. All right. I think we can begin. Hi, everyone. My name is Ramya Shivkumar. I am the Director of Sustainability and Cove. Very excited to present the AIA 2030 commitment and achieving carbon neutrality by 2030. So, welcome to the session. Our learning objectives are focused on delivering practical, actionable insights. By the end of this webinar, you'll be able to understand the AIA 2030 framework. You'll learn not only what the AIA 2030 commitment is, but also why it's a transformative framework for our industry as we work towards carbon neutral design. We'll break down the latest data, what the numbers mean, develop actionable sustainability plans. I'll walk you through creating your own sustainability action plan, ensuring it's both tailored to your firm's needs and practical to implement. We'll map out a 5 year roadmap. We'll discuss phased approaches to integrating sustainability into your practice. We'll set clear milestones to progressively reach the targets. Finally, I'll introduce you to smart budgeting practices and tools like Cove tool that can make energy modeling accessible even on tight budgets. These objectives are designed to cut through the abundance of available information and provide you with clear, actionable strategies that you can start applying in your practice right away. The built environment contributes nearly 40% of global greenhouse gas emissions. We all know this. Our industry plays a pivotal role in climate action. Back in 2006, the nonprofit Architecture 2030 issued the 2030 Challenge, calling for stepwise energy use reductions, 80% by 2020 and 90% by 2025, and full carbon neutrality by 2030. In response, the AIA created the AIA 2030 Commitment, a program that encourages firms to adopt these ambitious goals across their entire practice. By signing on, a firm pledges to publicly commit to carbon neutral design, develop a firm wide plan for sustainability, and report each year on the performance of their projects. This high level overview sets the stage for why participating in the 2030 commitment is both urgent and impactful. So, there are two aspects of the challenge: energy and carbon. Projects must reduce energy by 90% by 2025. The embodied carbon emissions from all new buildings, infrastructure, associated materials must be reduced by 65% by 2030 and zero by 2040. So, just to clarify, embodied carbon is the carbon footprint from manufacturing, transportation, and installation of building materials and construction. It includes emissions from extracting raw materials, transportation to the construction site. Addressing both operational and embodied carbon is key to mitigating climate change. Unlike operational carbon emissions, which can be reduced over time with building energy upgrades and the use of renewable energy, embodied carbon emissions are locked in place as soon as the building is built. It is critical that we get a handle on embodied carbon now if we hope to achieve zero emissions by 2040. So, just three materials, concrete, steel, and aluminum, are responsible for 23% of the total global emissions. Most of this is used in the built environment. This is an huge opportunity for embodied carbon reduction in these high impact materials through policy, design, material selection, and specifications. So let's review some current metrics to see how 2030 commitment community is doing. The program has grown rapidly. As of the latest report, over 1,350 firms signed on around the world. Out of these, 490 firms actively reported project data in the most recent cycle. In 2023, those firms submitted data on 24,742 projects. That is just over 4 billion square feet of building area. This averages to about 50 projects per firm. Now, how are those projects performing? On an average, the reported designs are achieving 50% reduction in energy use intensity, and they are about halfway to the zero carbon goal. Interior only projects like tenant fit outs have cut lighting power by about 36% from the baseline. These improvements are significant, though we know that targets are even higher. Cumulatively, the energy efficient designs reported in 2023 translated to about 12 billion dollars in energy cost savings and avoided about 38.5 million metric tons of CO2 emissions compared to a typical code compliant building. That's so many millions of cars off the road. Importantly, some projects are already hitting the aggressive goals. Nearly 1,900 projects met or exceeded the 80% reduction target for 2030, and about 430 projects even qualified for net zero energy design in the reporting data. Overall, what the data shows is that there's steady progress, but also highlights that we have a lot more work to do to reach that 100% reduction by 2030. There are practical challenges firms face in implementing the AIA 2030 commitment. Even though there's plenty of information available, many firms still struggle with turning theory into practice every day. Our clients tell us that many firms are looking for actionable strategies and best practices, that they need more than just an overview. They need like a clear step by step approach for integrating sustainability into their workflows. In this webinar, we'll share how to create tailored sustainability action plans and effectively use DDX platforms so you can start applying these insights immediately. Operational and financial hurdles remain a major barrier. Budget constraints, for example, are really common. What are some innovative funding strategies like reallocating costs from traditional project fees into business development or marketing budgets? We'll also explore tips for streamlining your reporting processes, particularly through digital tools like Cove tool, and hearing how other firms have also overcome similar challenges and achieved significant improvements can provide tangible benchmarks and inspiration for your own journey. The industry is evolving quickly. There are now tools that can integrate with AI reporting process to enhance your design outcomes. So let's cover the essentials of reporting. Once your firm signs the commitment, you're required to input all project data into the AIA's DDX system each year. Think of DDX as your online dashboard for tracking project performance. The reporting period is January through March, with a firm deadline of March 31st for submitting data from the previous year. For every project, whether it's early concept through construction documents, you'll create an entry that includes basic project details like name, location, phase, building type, square footage, baseline energy use intensity, proposed or predicted energy use intensity. For interior projects, you'll report lighting power density metrics, and you don't have to wait until the end of the year. Many successful firms update their entries as projects evolve. This ongoing input not only makes final reporting easier, but also provides you with instant analytics on your portfolio. In short, timely, accurate reporting through DDX is a key part of maintaining your status as a signatory, while also it helps as a tool to track your progress and improve your projects over time. All individual project data remains confidential within the system. AI publishes industry wide stats or sometimes recognizes top performances, but you should feel comfortable being honest with your data. So, what is the journey of a signatory look like? So, you sign the commitment letter, you create a sustainability action plan, you endeavor to meet your 2030 targets, you report all projects in DDX, and then you review and you update your sustainability action plan. Easier said than done. So, what is the sustainability action plan? So, each signatory must create this plan within the 6 months of signing. This is a written strategy document outlining how your firms will meet 2030 goals in both practice and operations. So, it's your firm's tailored roadmap for sustainability. This prompts firms to align values and workflows with sustainability objectives. It ensures that you're not just signing a pledge, but actively planning how to transform your portfolio and the company culture to achieve it. What are the key components? Statement from leadership on sustainability mission, how sustainable design strategies like whether it's energy modeling, passive design will be integrated into the project at each phase, specific performance targets like what are your internal EUI goals, what is your LPD goal, what percentage of profits projects will meet your targets, and how you'll track and report them. And you will obviously also have roles and responsibilities. Who is your sustainability champion? Who forms your green team? How often will they meet? How many hours are they budgeted? How often will will they review progress internally? And then finally, plans for staff and education, right? If they want to get credentials, if they want to develop their skills, creating a culture around sustainability. How will the firm engage with clients, consultants, and the broader community, whether it's through talks, case studies, thought leadership to promote sustainability, and then operations, right? Sustainability in house. What is your office energy use? What are your travel policies? What is the carbon footprint of your firm? And so you want to lead by example. So this document is a living document. It's not one time done, one time created and done. It should be revised and updated regularly. And AIA recommends that it's done annually. This keeps the plan aligned with your firm's growth, new technology, and lessons learned from project performance. So let's imagine a 5 year roadmap for a firm embarking on 2030 commitment. This isn't one size fits all, but it gives a sense of a phased milestone to shoot for. Year one is all about laying the foundation. You'd start by getting organized internally, sign the commitment, get working on your sustainability action plan. You'll want to get your team set up, maybe form a task force, identify a few champions across the office. Training is key this year. Perhaps run some sessions on energy modeling tools like Cove tool, and educate the staff on basic concepts like PEUI, and what the 2030 targets mean for design choices. You establish a baseline from where you're starting. For instance, you figure out the size, type of projects that you want to track this data for, what EUI or what was the EUI of your recent projects. You want to know your starting point. It's also great to pick a couple of pilot projects. So year one, say you aim to submit 10 projects. You create marketing materials around the commitment. You most importantly market internally within your firm and externally. And the most important is to get buy-in from the leadership and from the middle management so that they can be your champions on projects. Moving into year two, it's all about integration and scaling up. By now, sustainability should start weaving into your project's workflow. A practical goal might be ensure that 50 new projects are doing an energy model by the schematic design phase. So this could be quick shoebox models, just to compare design options. They don't have to be extremely detailed at first, and you want the modeling to become routine. Another year two goal is set an energy target for every project. For example, project kickoff, the team decides an office building will target a EUI of 25 kBTU per square foot, which is about 70% reduction from baseline. And even if you don't want to write this into your owner's project requirements, at least internally in product project charters, you can write that down so that the team and client can align around the goal. Year two, you also broaden your green project experience. You try a couple more projects pursuing lead or other certifications, and so that more teams can get hands-on experience with sustainable strategies and documentation. You're essentially normalizing these practices, and you create a reporting criteria, knowing that your firm may not be able to report all projects just yet. Year three, you're now you aim higher and you tackle more advanced initiatives. Perhaps you commit to design showcase projects that is near net zero. It could be a smaller project that you have more control over. On a broader portfolio, you might set a goal like our average EUI reduction should be at least 60% by year three. Achieving that may require introducing some advanced design features. Perhaps every project now considers things like external shading, energy recovery, and so on, not just the low hanging fruits. And year three is also a good time to formalize best practices. By now, you've learned a lot about the first 2 years. It's wise to create internal guidelines, for example, a checklist that every project must go through at schematic design to consider key sustainable strategies like siting, orientation, envelope performance, daylight, etc. This ensures that the knowledge gained isn't just in people's heads but is institutionalized. Year four, you have sustainability fully embedded in maybe all or maybe at least 50% of your projects. You'd also expand into related areas like embodied carbon. By now, you might submit one of these projects to AIA Quote Top 10 Awards or get a case study published. This not only celebrates your team's hard work, but also markets your capabilities to clients. Your firm is now a seasoned participant in year five. Ideally, by the end of year five, your portfolio is on track with the 2030 targets. You might have a couple of net zero projects. In year five, you turn around and you turn towards verification and refinement. It's a perfect time to do post occupancy evaluations to see how some of those projects fared. Check if actual energy use is as predicted. This will give you invaluable feedback. Did we overestimate our savings? And then feeding that knowledge back into design will help in the next cycle of projects. And of course, it's time to update the sustainability action plan right now. After 5 years, the industry is probably evolved, and you might now set new goals, perhaps around zero carbon, perhaps around operations or materials. Perhaps your firm now looks at its own operations to become carbon neutral. You might want to start giving back to the community of practice, share your success stories. You might want to mentor smaller firms to join the commitment. So, this is just a sample roadmap. It's aspirational, but it's achievable. Many firms have followed similar trajectory. It shows that with each year you build on the last. You start small, you scale up, and ultimately make sustainable design business as usual for your practice. One common concern is how to cover extra cost of energy modeling and sustainable design without overburdening your firm or your clients. A proven strategy is to shift these costs into overhead or business development budget. Essentially, treat time spent on energy modeling and research as an investment in innovation and marketing, not as a separate billable service. Many firms allocate a set number of hours of non-billable hours each year for 2030 commitment, which builds their portfolio and attracts future clients. So efficiency improves with experience. Standardizing your approach with templates or in-house library, leveraging tools like Cove tool to streamline early stage analysis can significantly reduce time and cost involved. Eventually, this research can lead to maybe post occupancy evaluation, which ties in beautifully with continued client engagement and makes informed design decisions. Additionally, you can explore other funding opportunities like grants or maybe utility rebates. Finally, when costs are passed to clients, you frame it in a way that terms long term value. An energy model is an upfront investment that can save significant capital and operating costs over time. Um, a screenshot here shows the Deltec vision, which can actually be a great resource for uh, inputting a lot of the information early on, whether it's during the pursuit stage or whether it's during the design development or construction phases. A lot of the inputs that are required for the DDX inputs can actually literally be exported from vision to be used into Excel and uploaded into DDX. So let's review the three main methods your firm can use the report to report data to AIA's data design data exchange. So first is the direct input, where you have a DDX portal and you manually enter data for each project. This is a hands-on approach and it's ideal for small number of projects. Then you have the bulk upload, where your firm has a larger portfolio, and so you can support bulk data uploads using CSV or Excel files. And then you have the integration via software, which is like Cove's analysis tool. Many firms use energy modeling tools like Cove tool to streamline analysis and report. Choose these methods that best fits their, firm's workflow. Smaller portfolios might be best served with direct input, but then as you grow your portfolio, you might want to look at bulk upload or software integration. The analysis tool within Cove is an automated design platform for intelligent building performance. Our web app enables parametric cost versus energy optimization, automated inputs for energy codes, geometry imports, facade guidance, strategy comparison, embodied carbon analysis, etc. The DDX reporting pathway is where you streamline your DDX reporting uploads with Cove's analysis tool. We can help create your firm's sustainability action plan. There is quick turnaround. It's very accessible and easy to use tool. It can meet your benchmarking needs where you just try to meet code, and reporting is via software. And so there's just this ability to scale. So after you complete your energy modeling in Cove tool, or you have us complete a quick DDX upload on Cove tool, we simply click export the performance data in a format that DDX accepts. And with integration options, you can easily sync or import the data from Cove tool into DDX. This minimizes any manual data entry and reduces errors. And you have certain ways that you can link and integrate both these accounts, and we can help guide you on that process. So this is just showing our carbon and energy report, and how we have there is a DDX upload which has a certain amount of data and level of rigor, and then we have the energy and carbon report that are a little bit more detailed and require a lot more information from your end, where we can help you create this report. So just wanted to share a couple of resources here. This is the AIA's website. It has wonderful resources about embodied carbon, about creating your own sustainability plan. And so there's just the QR code that will take you to that particular website. And yeah, so that's it. Any questions you all might have, happy to answer that. This is a link to a cheat sheet for DDX that we have on our website. So you can reach out to us through our website as well. Okay, so there's a question that says, do you have any advice for getting buy-in from multiple teams within a firm? Yes, I think having a conversation and understanding what are some of the roadblocks that the firm faces, and most often it's like we are just working on these projects and we don't want to do this extra effort. So I think letting people know that it is not something really scary and this doesn't involve a lot of time. A lot of the information, like I said, can be got from the Deltec vision. So just saying that, hey, I just need these three information from you, and creating a process wherein it is streamlined. Most often it is a burden when you do this at the last minute, like February, March, you're scrambling to get all the information. But if you had periodic check-ins with different teams within your firm, I think it'll be very, very helpful, where you can say, hey, like, how many projects are you planning to upload onto DDX this year? Are you committing to 3 projects, 5 projects? When you break it down into smaller chunks, it's actually easier to get a handle on. That would be my advice. I guess a lot of firms have lower bandwidth to create sustainability action plans. So I think supporting with that would be really, really helpful. So that is something that Cove tool can also do. So I would say I would encourage people to reach out and help us help you create that plan. And once the plan is created, it is quite easy to create those processes that support your um, uploading projects and contributing to that database. We'll wait for a couple more questions. If not, we can. So we have certain topics, like we highlighted those in our slides. We have a list of topics. We go through that. We have a meeting. We set up a meeting with some of your stakeholders, and we go through different what your ideas are for each of those categories. And then we leverage a lot of our internal AI tools, and we are able to craft that based on like what you want to achieve in the first 2 3 years, and we are able to craft that for you. We are able to talk with you, so there would be a couple of meetings, and then we would help you create that report, and these would be completely aligned with what you think is achievable for your firm, and we would take into consideration the amount of bandwidth, the amount of team members you have, and really what your goals are for the firm. So the deadline is fast approaching. It is 31st of March. So this webinar is a little late in that sense, but then I think it helps people plan ahead for next year, and knowing that it is achievable and that there are people like us or at Cove that can actually help you and support you in that process is also something that is good to know beforehand. We've helped a number of firms, create bulk uploads of like 30 projects, 50 projects. So it's something that we know to handle that kind of scale. So it's just something we can certainly help with. All right. Thank you, everyone. We hope this session has been very informative. We hope that this helps you, take that first step in moving towards carbon neutrality for your firm and creating that culture of sustainability for your projects and for your firm. Thank you so much. Bye.